Oh, hi. You've caught me petting my toilet paper. Let's put that aside and do the daily space weather. Turns out yesterday's coronal mass ejection largely failed to launch. Although there is a little ejecta there. We didn't really see the kind of coronal mass ejection that it looked like was building. Although there is some plasma out there still, and it could still release. Coronal mass ejection canceled, just like in the title. Here's the view from the LASCO C2, and there are the date stamps. This is from SOHO, and this view here is from Stereo A. So there's the SOHO LASCO C2 coronagraph. And we're coming at you live, once again, from the Smash Bunker. First rule of Smash Bunkers: you do not know where or what Smash Bunker is, or why there's a constant sound like we're in the Enterprise at warp. Anyway, there is some ejecta headed Earth's way. It's very diffuse. Here's the view from C3. Yesterday's coronal mass ejection did actually happen, but it was pretty diffuse, and there could be future ejections. With no warning, as always. We don't need sunspots or flares to have coronal mass ejections, folks. Next, we're going to look at the local yellow dwarf here at 171 angstroms. That's 48 hours of activity there. And there still is a extension of the corona extended out toward you from this view. This is from the SDO. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And yeah, there are a lot of ions. Let's talk about how Google is a scam and not a verb. Yesterday we did a live stream to ask you folks which videos you'd like to be viewing on YouTube, or perhaps on Netflix, or maybe on Amazon. Now today we're going to watch The Wrath of Khan, which is Star Trek II. It's free if you have an Amazon Prime membership, so you can view that one for free just with an Amazon Prime membership and get a bunch of free shipping also, and get the hell off of the YouTube junkware platform where fraud, lies, misinformation, and total nonsense are promoted while real videos are buried in search. So here once again, yesterday's live stream suggesting that you watch the Trailer Park Boys, the TV series, all 9 seasons or however many seasons there are, has been demonetized. So yeah, 43 pathetic views over there, and this organization right here is the epitome of pathetic. As once again, we did nothing even slightly controversial in that video. Oh my gosh, data's currently unavailable for some videos. Try retrying in 10 seconds because YouTube's platform is El Trasho. So, I invite you to come over and view things on BitChute, as videos have been demonetized on YouTube, set to private, and then, you can't see them on YouTube anymore, so check them out on BitChute, and look for more exclusive content to be coming there, because the YouTube platform just sucks, and it is completely, it's nothing but censorship, nonsense, lies, fraud, abuse, misrepresentation, and the hiding of the real information in favor of total BS. We're also on Gab. We're on Twitter. I just put some posts up, actually. I am on Instagram also, so check this one out if you haven't seen it. I know we've got many fans out there that do not use Instagram because it is a Facebook property. Here's one of the more recent videos.
One of the other things we like to do while shut in is go fishing at home.
Do some fishing.
In this case, we usually have bad luck fishing for the pleco. So James T. Kirk, we don't usually fish for him. But these two, Jaws here and Phelps, we fish for them. And here are some of the some of the baits that we use.
So we like to go fishing in the living room. I don't know if you're aware. We're also on Facebook, by the way. It's facebook.com/smAsho. And there are custom posts there about, how you may not be able to find the real information from many sources dating back to January 23rd. What's that? You can't? Well, how about head to smashamash.com/forum/topic/coronavirus. And if you head to smashamash.org, there's a link down there at the bottom of the page. smashamash.com/forum. We're also on Minds, and we've blazed through 600,000 views as we keep climbing over there, the alternative social media, where once again we invite you to the smashamash.com/forum, smashamash.org, and so on. Real servers for real information, not to be confused with the complete BS that you will likely find all over the internet, as nonsense and lies and complete disinformation seems to be the norm nowadays. Now I've headed to HelioViewer, and I have created a movie here, and it's not really showing very much of anything. But hey, that's all right. You never know until you look, right? So there we've got the LASCO C3, we've got the magnetogram, which is actually covered up by the 171 angstroms view. And it's a pretty short time frame there, but we don't really see any ejecta shown on the LASCO C3, which is the blue outer portion. Next we're going to take a look at the 304 angstroms North Pole area, as we've got some activity sputtering around up there. Looks like it could be a sunspot. And if so, that's a very far north sunspot. So also a little bit of crown prominence kicking up off there. And it looks like a bunch of plasma has just collapsed from down in this region over here. I hope that's a good bracket. There was a big filament there, and I think it's collapsed onto the other side of the sun. Again, there's no ejecta headed Earth's way right now, but that's an interesting area right there where my pointer is. Perhaps keep an eye on that throughout the day, and just allow me to download this, please. I apologize for the delay, especially if you're streaming live. Because if you're not streaming live, it's just Memorex. And next we're going to look at the fields here to see if there are any things resembling, significant fields. There's 171 angstroms. I'll refresh that so you know we're looking at the most recent data. And there's the fade out to the fields. And there is a little bit of magnetic complexity happening in that bright region, right in there. Otherwise, very low levels of solar activity, no sunspots. Here's the 48 hours SDO movie here of 304 angstroms, and you can see that filament has indeed collapsed. And some sort of a bright outburst happened there. And we'll get to more data in a moment. We'll let that play through one more time first. And it's looking like old data, folks. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't see any data from the 29th. I'm going to let that play through one more time here. Okay, there we go. There's the latest. What are you doing during your shut-in? Are you learning about heliophysics? Heliophysics? I don't say that very often, folks. Heliophysics. Let's get back to data. 10.7 centimeter radial flux, still at 69. Solar minimum conditions. Here's where stuff is in the solar system. Here's where it'll be in a week. And like I said yesterday, there's one of these oh my god trapezoids happening in between the moon, Venus, the sun, and Mercury. It's a very, very scary, scary trapezoid. Please leave a comment if you think Geometry. No, but don't leave a comment about no. Yes. Yeah, that. I will remove my head from the screen for you to take a moment to take a screenshot of the Paul Orndorff spike pile driver in action. There's a pileup going on in the sky right now. We've got Jupiter, we've got Mars, and we've got Saturn, all in the same small portion of the sky. Please leave a comment if you're freaked out about that, as fear-mongering has become the way of life on the internet and on the mainstream media. Next, we'll look at the GOES X-ray flux, which is pretty flatline there, as there's very low levels of solar activity and no significant, organized magnetic fields happening. Next, we'll look at the real-time solar wind, which has just recently shifted massively. Maybe that's why it took me so long to do show prep, and why I can't talk today. Massive shifts in the BZ there, going from North Pole back down to South Pole all of a sudden, but the total field has dropped a little also there, so that's just really a change in the field orientation, which started just after this coronal hole magnetic connection, which occurred around 7 o'clock UT. So here we see the solar wind density dropping off since yesterday, and then rising back up at the same time the solar wind velocity goes back up. So it looks like we only got to 434 yesterday. If you remember, my forecast was for it to get to 435. So I guess I overbid. And I guess that was a pretty close forecast. What do you say? It was just based on a guess, folks. It was based on a guess, folks. There's the most recent data from ACE, looking corroborative, with a little bit of interference in that area. Could have been a coronal mass ejection, could have been not. Who knows, and who really cares at this point? Next, we'll look at the Geospace Magnetosphere movie. And, man, am I still on screen? Not no mo. And don't be surprised if these videos stop existing overnight. There's 4 hours of data of the magnetosphere, and here's 0 hours of data on, ta-da! No. Here's the ground geospace magnetic perturbations. It's 4 hours of data showing the main changes in Earth's magnetic field over the Canadian South Pole and over the South Geomagnetic Pole, the one creeping into the Indian Ocean off of the Antarctic continent. Welcome to the welcome to the geomagnetic excursion, as we're not sure what will happen next with the geomagnetic fields. And if you're believing somebody that thinks they're forecasting it, I don't know what to tell you. There's the GOES magnetometer readings, which are continuing to look spiky. Here's a spike. Here's a spike. And here's nothing looking smooth. Usually this looks like this. And for you new viewers out there, consumer tip, the M means midnight and the N means noontime local time for the spacecraft. In this case, the GOES 16. Next, we'll look at the Gong 2 data from the top view ecliptic plane field plot view, as if you're looking down toward the sun's north pole. And we see this fleeting charge up of the current sheet in North Pole polarity ended as quickly as it began. Keep in mind the data is 1 hour and 18 minutes old, and the magnetic environment can change with no warning. Here's the line of sight field plot view. And you can see a little pull down of the B field, which is this one here shown in blue. This field right here. The B field is the field that goes through the magnet. And these are the Z fields. Here's the south, here's the north, shown in red and green, respectively. Next, we'll break out the Australian Government Bureau Meteorology ionosphere map animation. And we actually see a very large charge disparity. I'll explain in a moment after it plays through. And the latest image here is, I think it's 9 o'clock UT. Let's see. We are pretty late today, folks. I apologize for us putting the video up so late, but hey, better late than never, and look forward to the future of it never showing up publicly accessible, because it's a thing. So anyway, what we've got here, we've got a 14 megahertz charge and a significant charge down, so you've got a huge charge disparity between these regions, and that's sort of a legit ionosphere anomaly now. And remember, folks, March is the most common month for geomagnetic unrest. Next, we'll look at the windy.com pressure maps. We're going to advance this about 12 hours, as it's doing now, via the GFS forecast. And at Monday around noon, there's where we expect things to be. And we're talking noon Eastern time here, folks. I am on New York time. I am located in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. Even when I'm in the bunker, as opposed to in the smashed tower. What that means is anybody's guess. I will not explain it further, as the explanations are classified. We see some deep quakes coming through over the past 24, including a 4.3 out in the Aleutian Islands. It's at 195 kilometers depth. This could be the largest of the past 24. Not exactly sure. It's a 5.8 at Indonesia, which happened at 1543 yesterday on 3/28. Here's a deep quake at Vanuatu. That one happened a little over 2 hours later. It's at 99 kilometers. There's a deep quake in western South America. It's 182 kilometers depth and a 4.4 magnitude. Here's a 5.3 in Indonesia. That one is at 597 kilometers. I think the deepest quake I've ever reported from Indonesia. Here's a Papua New Guinea quake at depth, nearly 100 kilometers and 5.2 magnitude. There's an oddity, a 3.1 in Muskoche, Canada. Please leave a comment if you're aware of whether that's a Native American word or not. Sounds Native American to me. And today's cosmology segment will feature a heaping helping of nothing, thanks to our coverage of things that we don't want to cover and that we will stop covering very soon. In fact, today may be the day when we stop covering it. So look forward to that. In the meantime, check out smAshomash.com/forum. If you haven't, head to smAshomash.org, scroll down, and there's a link right there. Or you could just type smAshomash.com/forum. There's a cosmology and earth geophysics, a general science, the sun of free-for-all, which features a pretty popular link, I guess. What's the deal with anti-malarials? Well, the deal with hydroxychloroquine is that it appears to change the acidity of cell membranes. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really know, and I don't really care. But we're going to start putting out videos about whatever the hell we want, and saying whatever we want about whatever we want whenever we want. And we're not going to pay any attention to lies, censorship, fraud, misuse, abuse, disinformation, and propaganda on the internet, because I could really care less. Check out the buying of bonds. See that? The government can't pay you as much money if there are a lot of bonds being bought, and while it's basically nobody's business who's buying the bonds, see this line? That indicates a lot of buying of bonds, which is often associated with a thing we call inflation. Are you familiar with that? It's what happens when your dollars decrease in their purchasing power because of more money being injected into the stock market. That's into the stock market, into the bond market, into just straight up cash investments, into literally everything, making both governments and businesses have more dollars, which is, by the way, a hidden tax on everybody. Check out the volatility index. It's finally come down to more reasonable levels, but it's still at extremely unreasonable levels. Check out the all graph. It is nowhere near where it's ever been historically speaking. Check out the volatility. It is a stock picker's dream. Makes me want to get back into day trading. Here's a bunch of data that I'm not going to say anything about. Here's a molecule that has becoming increasingly popular and increasingly scammily censored on the internet. Apparently it's some sort of crazy blasphemy to utter the word hydroxychloroquine nowadays online. So I've been playing enemy territory, using it as a name. And check it out. Oh my gosh, he's rising through the ranks. He's all the way in the top 5,000 on Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. The best FPS ever. Let's talk about
fraud.
Are you experiencing a bunch of
fraud
while watching YouTube? Are you experiencing a bunch of
fraud
on Facebook? Let's define it. It's deceit and trickery. You know, intentional perversion of truth in order to induce another to part with something of value or to surrender legal right. Also an act of deceiving or misrepresenting, a trick, a person who is not what he or she pretends to be, an imposter. You know, like a search engine that only returns biased results. He claimed to be a real search engine, but turned out to be a fraud. One who defrauds, a cheat, otherwise known as Google. One that is not what it seems to be represented to be. And by the way, I learned from Joe Biden that it's very important to cough into your elbow like this. Google. Let's check out the word of the day right after we define the word pathetic. Certain big tech organizations are zombies and are indeed
pathetic,
which is having a capacity to move one to either compassionate or contemptuous pity, as I feel sorry for these pathetic companies, marked by sorrow or melancholy sad as they destroy their own credibility and their own ability to be a platform, period, as they hire more lawyers than they do software engineers and go out of business in a zombie-like fashion. Pitifully inferior or inadequate. That's Google. Absurd, laughable. That's big tech. Hey, big tech. You can't break the internet, but the internet can, is, and will continue to break you because of your
quixotic
ideas about attempting to censor information. Now, not everybody lives in the U.S. Not everybody has the First Amendment. However, people in the U.S., let's just say we're currently putting the boot on the throat of organizations like Google, Facebook, Apple, and Twitter. So keep trying to spy. Keep watching your AI break down, because we forgive, we don't forget, and we are legion. And that is not scary. It wasn't scary from day one. So you can take that and you can shove it right into your anal swabs. Because I don't know about your immune system, but here's mine. So, whatever. Stop believing the nonsense and lies on the internet, folks. And let's get back in. Let's stop ranting and talk about volcanoes. Mount Aso's erupting and producing a 5,000-foot ash plume. Ibu, 7,000-foot ash plume there. Popocatépetl flight level 20,000 there. Nevado del Ruiz, 20,000-foot ash plume there. Sangay also exploding, 20,000-foot ash plume there. Revenador's ash has dissipated, and Sabancaya is unable to detect. Please still don't cause that to, give you the green light to tightrope walk or perhaps pole vault over Sabancaya. Next, we'll look at the jet streams, and there are the Eastern jets. As we do value-added services for our loyal and esteemed viewers. Here are the Western jets. And how's the back feeling, Brett? Are you scared of coronavirus? Let it be said that I'm not scared of coronavirus. What a joke. Next, we're going to look at the African and European water vapor maps. And I don't know what the heck you're talking about, Kimberly, but there's a bunch of dry air. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't get rain while there's dry air aloft. In fact, you can have a massive pressure gradient with dry air aloft. Perhaps you've got some low-level lows. I don't know. Anyway, there's the situation over Europe and Africa. Here's a situation over the Far East and Oceania. And again, that's a lot of dry air. So while it might be foggy and misty and raining and moist, yes, I said moist. I really don't care which words cause us to get censored. I'm just going to say whatever I feel like. Northern Australia is definitely dominated by dry air. Anyway, there's the map for Oceania and the Far East. Here's the one for the U.S. And we speed it up for your viewing pleasure. We've got a massive set of pressure gradients. And there's a weak low forming over, eastern Minnesota, western Wisconsin. Please leave a comment if cheese is your favorite food. And we're going to do a zoom in here of the Great Lakes for once, as we see massive pressure gradients there. And this will actually cause danger in the Great Lakes Triangle. And by the way, if you're a Bermuda Triangle enthusiast, you may be interested in finding out that the Great Lakes Triangle is vastly more dangerous, because when pressure gradients change and they funnel water into these narrow inlets, which all the Great Lakes have narrow inlets, when you funnel high pressure, low pressure gradients into these areas, guess what happens? You get giant waves that kill people, overturn ships, and cause ships to sink faster than you could say. Edmund Fitzgerald. Edmund Fitzgerald? Edmund Fitzgerald. Please leave a comment if you know what the Edmund Fitzgerald disaster was. Please leave a comment if you're Gordon Lightfoot viewing these videos. Anyway, there's the water vapor situation over that area. Here's the U.S. Doppler radar map. And we see a long string of heavy rain and thunderstorms on the front of that pressure gradient. It's a good one. We're not going to zoom in. But it looks like we're having a rainy Sunday, encouraging people to stay in. And I'm not encouraging people to stay in, but the weather is. As I go out nearly every day into public. Because I work for the supply chain, you see? And I'm one of these guys. Hey, State College, there's thunder rolling in. I'm one of these guys who will tell you that as far as this portion of the world, let me draw that in better. As far as this portion of the world, there is no food supply chain shortage. I don't know if you were aware, but we're more than happy to inform you of reality here. We're getting thunder and lightning. That looks like it's around Mount Davis. Please leave a comment if you've been to Mount Davis, the high point of Pennsylvania. And hey, Smash team, thanks for tuning in to the Smash Twitch stream. If you viewed it someplace besides on Twitch, it was Memorex, because it wasn't live. If you viewed it on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/smashamash, but you were probably already aware of that. Please leave a comment, whether you're a friend, a foe, a noob, or a pro. We've got lots of fun for nearly everyone. Thanks to our patrons, the real source of funding and revenue. And a little announcement for Patreon and Subscribestar. There is a sunset on those services. The sunset is on New Year's Eve. So by 2021, we're expecting there to not be any such thing as Patreon nor Subscribestar, but rather a subscription service on smashamash.com. So here we're looking at the intensity gram to show you no sunspots. Here's the magnetogram, and we refresh it so you can see the most recent view in high res. And what in the heck is that supposed to be? There's the only bright region we see. And last, but not least, we're going to bring up the 94 angstroms view today as we green light doing whatever the hell we want. Since obviously the only legitimate policy is pure independence. So we did it in music, now we're doing it in this format as well. Again, don't forget to check out twitch.tv/smAshomash as well as bitshoot.com/smAshomash and smAshomash.org, and consider funding the operation, as there's a lot of stuff to do and not a lot of financial incentive to do so. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Remember, stare at the sun, don't drink, and if you do, don't drive, and since it'll never be now again, since it shall never be now again, may the lies and fraud be under your boot and the atherosclerosis absent from your arteries.